First year as a father, I know exactly how it feels. My first year was in 2020, then again in 2022, and once more in 2025. Becoming a father happens in a moment, but becoming a dad takes time, with lots of questions along the way. Questions we, as dads, keep to ourselves. Until now. So, why does everything feel so hard? It's week 2 now, and you might feel drained. You might feel drained to the point where you feel like you got nothing left to give, right? But maybe that's a sign that your body is just saying or asking you, remember me? Because here's the truth, as a father, and I've been a father for 5 years now, it doesn't get any easier. Week 2, you might feel like it's the hardest thing in the world, but it doesn't get easier. But you find ways to take care of yourself to make sure it's easier. Because the truth is, man, there's no manual for this, right? You get handed a baby and, you could have done all the preparation in the world, but nothing prepares you for actually just living it. Because there's so many nuances, every baby's different. And you're just doing it for the first time, right? Both of you guys, both you and your wife. And it's just hard, man. I think that's just the way it is, right? It's just, and from day one, it's hard. And it's even harder because you're not sleeping. It's just, I don't know how else to say it. It's just hard. For me, that first week, leading into the second week, I just made it so much harder on myself. I remember that second week, I was asking myself, why is this so hard? And looking back on it now, that routine that I had, and, we're talking like 2020 in the heart of the pandemic, when we were all at home, right? I was sleeping late, watching Netflix. That was my recovery. Uber Eats was my fuel. I was a mess, I was just a mess. And I could have blamed it on the pandemic. But looking back on it now, it was just me. I made it so much more harder on myself. I just was wondering why I had no energy. And the truth is, I had no energy because I wasn't really focusing on myself. I put so much energy into just taking care of this baby and doing what I could do with the resources I had that I forgot about me. I forgot about taking care of myself. And I gained weight, and I stopped showering, and I stopped doing anything that I loved. I just sat on the couch. Like most people during the pandemic, I just decided to rot. The only difference here was I had a baby to take care of, and I couldn't do that. I just couldn't do that. And it wasn't until my wife, we're in the second week and baby's just not sleeping, and he was born in the summer, so at least the sun was rising early. And I was dead tired in the morning. I just, that second week, the baby's probably waking up every hour and a half, right? Maybe 2 if you're lucky. Baby wasn't sleeping. My wife wasn't sleeping. I was probably the least tired of the two of us, so I just took the baby, and remember it was a hot summer, so I put him in the stroller, and I walked my son. Probably walked him for a good hour, and I was dead tired. But once I started walking, he slept, so I got some quiet time. My body was moving. I started sweating. And I started feeling a lot better about myself. I was slowly refueling me. I was slowly recovering. I was recharging, whatever you want to call it. I was focusing on me again, and it was just by chance. And I got back, and I was still tired, but I definitely had more energy. I definitely had more energy. I was sweating, and I just got some sun on my face, and I just felt like $1,000,000. And the day was still hard, right? Don't get me wrong. But I made it easier on myself. And it was that point I realized this is a secret. Fatherhood doesn't get easier, but if I stop taking care of myself, it's gonna get much harder. And here's a spoiler alert: I'm 5 years into fatherhood, and I've got 3 kids, and it's a lot harder now than it was in week 2. Now they're actually talking, and they're fighting, and there's conflicts, and there's situations at school, right? It's harder, but I think I'm the healthiest I've ever been. My mind's at the best point it's ever been. And physically, I'm taking care of myself. I'm out in nature, as you can see right now. I focus a lot on me now. And that's what I think allows me to fight that fight every day. And all it took was that walk, just to click in my head that that's a secret. Sometimes when you feel like, as a new dad in week 2, when you feel like you got no energy, you think you need to actually just rest and just rot on the couch, right? You think but the opposite is true. When you're drained and you're exhausted and you feel like you got nothing left to give, you actually got to move yourself, move your body, get out there, keep your mind active. Actually do the opposite. And back to the original question, why does it feel so hard? It's just hard. Fatherhood is just hard. I don't think you can get around that. And you got to just accept that it's going to get harder. Lack of sleep is the least of your worries, right? But if you take care of yourself, and if you have good sleeping habits, and you eat a healthy diet, and you do things that make you happy and fulfilled, it's going to make things a lot easier. And so I leave you with that. If you're in your second week, you feel like you got nothing left to give, get out there, go outside, go for a hike, go for a walk. And hopefully for you, it's like it was for me. It's that first step in realizing, in order to make things easier for yourself, you got to first fill your cup first, so that you can give back to the baby. Yeah, so I really enjoyed this episode. We're week 2 now, episode number 6. We got 4 episodes left in week number 2. And if you're a new dad following along here, I hope these videos can help you along your fatherhood journey. Okay, I'll see you in the next video.